Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. I'm excited to finally have these two amazing human beings on the show. I have Yvette and Kevin Kendrick with me. Kevin will tell you that he hasn't been invited on the show, and he's probably right, but that is totally my fault. I follow them. I love what they do. I love their hearts and their spirits. And it's not just about real estate, it's what they do in their community. And we're going to talk about why relationships matter, why community matters, and we're going to learn all about them. Welcome to the show, Yvette and Kevin. How are you today?
We're good.
Hey, doing
Thank you
great.
for having
Yeah,
us.
I'm
we're
excited
excited.
to have you guys on. We got all our technology worked out. Isn't that fun? So I told you before we went live that the audience absolutely loves an origin story. They want to get to know you a little bit. So I'll let each of you tell us a little bit about you. They love point A to point B. They kind of want to know your journey to get to real estate. And then we can talk about relationships and community. And of course, ladies first, always.
Oh,
Yvette,
wow.
give us the 411 on you.
Well, me personally, I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a city girl. I love the big city, love the food, love all of it. And I moved to Orlando in 2006. I moved here in 2006. My son was 18 months and worked in the corporate world for many, many, many years. I was in the legal field for about 15 years. And Kevin and I got married in 2012. So,
10
yeah.
years.
You want to take it away there?
I love it. First of all, your lighting is flawless.
Oh,
Whatever
wow.
whatever room you're in, it looks amazing.
Thank
So
you.
kudos to you.
Thank you.
All
She's
right,
in
Kevin.
her.
So you obviously are the lucky one in this, the blessed one here, because you
Yes.
have Yvette. So tell us about a little bit about your journey.
So I was born and raised in Orlando. I am at that anomaly that grew up here. Graduated from, always lived on the south side of Orlando, and so now being in Lake Nona. But I always wanted to be a teacher, and actually I wanted to be a principal. So I started teaching in 1996. I went and got my master's. And went into administration, and I worked my way up to being a principal. So I lived the dream. Worked for public education for just over 22 years. In fact, I was still doing education while we were building our business, which most people don't realize. But yeah, we got married in 2012. This year, we'll be celebrating 10 years. We both turned 50
Yes.
this year.
Oh,
Uh,
how is that possible? Good genes, both of you. Good
yeah.
genes.
And we're a blended family, and we talk publicly about being a blended family and working, navigating with our exes. And like I've hung out with her ex-husband, she's hung out with my ex-wife,
Mhm.
and that's how it should be. It's we don't have to vacation together, but we have to be friends for our kids, and so that's part of our journey as well. But and then in 20, I got licensed in 2010, but I didn't start practicing until 2015,
Wow.
and uh, and I realized when we were in 2015, I told Yvette, I said, we can do this. She was driving downtown. And so she got licensed in 2016, quit her
Yeah.
job. She was learning how to navigate the real estate world. I was actually still teaching virtual. I didn't leave education until 2019. Uh,
Wow.
I know I was selling almost $20 million worth of real estate. So when people tell me, hey, we can't do it, I'm like, well, I did it part time. And so so you just got to know how to hustle. But that's when we became the Kendrick team, was 2016.
So
Yep.
interesting. Tell me how you go from, I sort of get legal, right? Legal to real estate, but educate. So how did you guys decide that that was going to be a full-time thing? How did you make that? Because it is hard. It's not as easy and glamorous, y'all, as you might, it might be portrayed on TV and the movies. Real estate's a lot of work. It's a lot of hustle. Anybody in the industry will tell you the same. So how was it when you were making that final decision that we're going all in? Did you have family meetings? Did you pray over it? Did you stress over it? What was that like? Because obviously you saw that you were having a lot of benefit and you were growing even while you were working in other industries.
Well, yeah, all of the above. So we were having conversations probably for about 2 years. Full
Mm,
transparency, it's not like I said, oh, yeah, I want to be in real estate. Like, that's my passion. My passion was to leave the corporate environment and to come
mhm,
do what we believe that the Lord was calling us to do. And that was to step out in faith and join together and create something, right? I think initially, I can't really speak for Kevin if he thought like, if he had the big vision of, in the future we'd have a team. For me, it was just like, I'm going to get out of the corporate environment, and that's going to be freedom for me, right? So probably the first couple years, maybe, I really struggled with my place and my lane, and what is it about the real estate industry that I was going to be able to do that was going to allow me to thrive and be passionate about. So it was a little bumpy initially trying to navigate through that, especially working full time, 9 to 5, since out of high school, because I didn't go to college.
Mhm.
And now having the freedom to be able to create my own schedule.
Right.
So anyway, but yes, lots of prayers, lots of conversations, a lot of fear, but we did it. And it was a leap of
Mhm.
faith.
Yeah, I think it was a mindset issue too, because I was ingrained, you got to work 9 to 5. And then once you get an education, it's like, if you don't leave within your first 5 years, they got you. Cause then it's like, you got to stay for your pension, you got to stay for the benefits. And Ted, no lie, it's in 2017, I almost left, and I bawled my eyes out, because that's all I knew. Was I knew a 9 to 5. I didn't know real estate. I didn't realize that we had created this wheel where we were going to continue to grow. And in 2019, literally, I'm teaching for Florida Virtual School, virtually teaching. I'm probably teaching 20, 25 hours a week for $50,000 a year, health benefits and a pension. And we're selling 20 million. So do the math. We're making $400,000.
Right.
But my mind was, oh my gosh, I got to have that 9 to 5. I got to have the W-2. I can't, my mind was all over the place. So it wasn't really until I corrected my mindset. And, I know, Rich Carpentieri. Rich was very
Amazing.
pivotal. I mean, Rich is Rich is in his New York voice. What are you talking about?
I,
Come on,
I love
man. You're
Rich.
making X amount of dollars for peanuts, And so, I finally took the leap of faith, and 2019, May 2019, I walked away from education, and our business has grown every year since 2015. So it's been a blessing, but to Yvette's point, a lot of prayer, a lot of fear, and sometimes fear takes hold of us.
Well, it does, but I think all three of us are people of faith, and so that is you have to walk in that faith sometimes. Sometimes it is scary, as can be. As a matter of fact, a lot of times it's scary, especially if it's something that is the flesh is telling you, "Oh my God, you should run screaming, and
Mm.
you're called to do something different." All right, so I let all of the guests give me an idea for a title, and so of course I love the title of your show, "Relationships Matter, Community Matters," and I am sure that played a big part in how you all developed your business and were able to finally make that leap of faith. You've got
Mm.
faith, but you also have all of these relationships. So let's talk about that. Why do relationships matter? Why does community matter to you all?
Yeah. So it's funny. Kevin and I are very different in a lot of ways, but but we're also very alike in a lot of ways. And the one thing that we do have in common that is so near and dear to us is people, building relationships. I know that sounds cheesy. It
It's
sounds
not.
cliche,
I
but
love
it
it.
is so much of who we are. It's our pulse, right? Like, we just love people. We love building relationships. We love getting to know people's stories, and we love gathering people, bringing them
Mm.
together and cultivating community. And in and through our journey, that's kind of been like the fabric, right? That's the glue. And
Mm.
that's really how it all stems from that. And I think because we are like that organically, it just happens organically.
Yes.
Mm.
That's just what we do. We build relationships, we connect with people, and real estate has given us such a beautiful opportunity to do that.
Mm. And I say, real estate's the platform. That real estate gives us the opportunity to go to, or create movie nights in our neighborhood, and go into, like, this Saturday, or whatever Father's Day is, we're doing a man up event at one of the local restaurants in Lake Nona. We're inviting all the dads from Lake Nona to come out for a free beer and to hang out with us. And but real estate gives us the opportunity to do that. And what we think is neat is we'll see pictures sometimes on social media, and we'll see like three couples out on a date night. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. that they're hanging out. And then when you ask them, how did you guys connect? And they're like, well, we met at one of your movie nights, or we met at your pumpkin
Oh,
event, or at this event or that event. And so it's not just our relationships to them, it's the relationships that are being
Exactly.
created at the events that we don't even know. For a while we were getting invited to all these little kids' birthday parties. And we're like, we're the 50 or, the late 40-year-olds showing up to these birthday parties with these families in their 30s. And we're like, well, why are we invited? And they're like, well, because we met all of our friends because of you guys. And, that's why we're in business. Real estate's the platform.
It's powerful. I think that a lot of people, relationships, obviously people can relate to. Yes, you need relationships. Whether people foster them or not, or do it in a positive way is one thing. But it's clear that makes sense to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the part that I find so unique about what you're talking about is the community matters. And it's not you didn't put anything in the bio or anything like that. The community matters because of real estate. It's just community matters to the two of you.
Yeah.
And I think in this day and age, and the way that we do things, it's and what we're dealing with in the country, we have to embrace that community. But people are still a little bit afraid of that. They still don't get to know their neighbors. They still they keep to themselves when they go to a restaurant, or they won't take a risk and go to a party that the Kendrick team might throw for them. So how do we encourage people to get out? What do you all do? It's one thing to send an invite for a beer, which of course would attract me or something along those lines. But you still have to get me when I'm there. You still have to reach other people. So how do you all do that? How do you engage and make it so that it's something that's inviting?
I think it's a multifaceted, it's not just the Eventbrite or the email. That's easy. It's sending the text message. We're real big into video texting, so we like to send video and say, hey, Ted, we're doing this amazing event and we'd love for you and your family to come. And it's a lot more personable when it's coming from me versus the robo email, which we do, in the Eventbrite, those are typical, those are expected, those are layers. But then we also have to make it a little bit more personal. And, and then having the follow-up after the event, hey, Ted, we appreciate, thank you for coming. What did you like? What could we do better? Or, hey, Ted, we missed you. Here's when we're going to do our next event. Right. And so, it's got to be the touches leading up to the event. It has to be natural and genuine. And then you have to have the touches after the event. So that way, once again, in Lake Nona, everyone knows a real estate agent. So whether they come and whether they use us or not, that's okay. But what we hope they do is at the end of the day is say, hey, I need to get my house painted. My real estate agent may or may not know a guy, but I know Kevin and Yvette know a guy.
Yes.
I need a fence guy, or I need a plumber. I know they know somebody.
Powerful.
Can I add to that though?
Please.
He talked about the layers initially, right? Getting them there and then the follow-up after. But for me, one thing that I know I'm very intentional about is while they're there, like when they're at the event, making eye contact, really asking questions. How are you? Thanking them for taking time out of their family, out of their busy schedules to be there. So it's not just the experience of what we're doing at the event and the things that we're providing. It's that personal, more intimate connection that we have an opportunity to make so that they feel seen, known, and loved while they're there. And that is what I believe is going to want them to come back to the next one. And it's and doing that just consistently, because anyone can throw a party, right? Anyone can throw a party, anyone can get sponsors and get all the, bells and whistles. But are you, do you have that human component while you are capturing this audience and these people? And do you really care about it? Not just like doing it because you feel you have to. Yes. And I always go back to just being really heart-centered about what we do. And, not just faking it till you make it. Like that to me is like the biggest, I hate that tagline because, that's not sustainable. So that's really
and our kids are now at an age, we've got a college freshman and a rising senior. So rising sophomore in college and rising senior that, and we don't necessarily cook a lot. So when we are at an event and we say, hey, Ted, we'd love to connect with you. Let's grab dinner sometime. Well, that's a common phrase that people say. Let's get together. Let's go have a beer. Let's go do this. I'll see, but 90% of the time that doesn't happen. Like we'll come back from an event, we're like, wow, that event was amazing. We got to do dinner with this person, this person, and this person.
Yeah.
And we really make an effort to make it work. Sometimes it doesn't work for 3 months, but at least if we tell somebody, hey, let's double date, let's triple date, we make it happen, or at least we're going to make an attempt to make it happen. As
Right.
long as, schedule's got to line up, but it's not wait to see you next time, wait to see you next time, wait to see you next time. Because we've had, between me being in the hospital and then, personal friends of ours that did not come home from the hospital, life's too short for us to just sit and twiddle our thumbs on the
Yeah.
couch when we could be out with other couples or other families, engaging with them and building rapport, building relationship, and hopefully, contributing to them and to their life.
That's just my crazy alarm that goes off every day at 1:25. So you all have to excuse that. All right, as we close out, you brought it up, and I was going to segue to it. So perfect segue, Kevin. I think it's one thing to say that community matters. I think it's one thing to give back, but you all experienced love of a community. When Kevin was sick with COVID, I just felt like the community itself embraced you all as a family, as human beings.
Mhm.
And you can't fake that. Social media can do a lot of faking, but I just truly felt like that was a reflection of what you had given back to the community. It reminded me a lot of the It's a Wonderful Life scene at the end, because I feel like you can do that, you can say it can look all pretty on social media, but are people really feeling it from you? And I really believe that they did. So tell me, as we head out, how was that for you? Did you feel that love? What was that like for you both?
It was amazing. Only because she had her perspective was a lot
Yeah.
deeper. So I'll let her finish.
Yeah.
I think one day she's like, "Hey, don't text Kevin. He needs to conserve his energy." And of course, then my phone blows up. So it's like she means everyone but me. And so look, we pour into Lake Nona. And so to see that response from not just sending meals to her and gift cards. They wanted to start a couple GoFundMe's, and we said no, we don't need that. But here's what really, what I was honored with the most is people were then now going out, because I even put on social media, go do something nice for somebody else. You can't do anything for me. I'm in the hospital, and people were posting that they were buying. I mean, one of my friends spent $1,000 at Publix on Publix gift cards and say, I have gift cards for Christmas. If you need food, come get these gift cards. People were buying food at Dunkin' Donuts and at Nona Blue and on our behalf. And that's just, I mean, I'm getting emotional about it now. That's just so amazing because God's been good to us. Financially, we were okay. So we said, look, pray for us, but go bless somebody else. And that's what I saw from the hospital bed, which warmed my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, we have two different perspectives on that whole experience. And I can't tell you how overwhelming it was. It's even now as I think about it, because I don't think about it every day anymore, but you just made me think about it. Just the amount of love and support and just giving that was just completely flooded into our home, into our lives is just I mean, it's a lot. It's big, and I still really don't have words for it. For me, it was different because I mean, I was in isolation, obviously, because I was exposed. So I felt very alone, but just knowing that there were people outside my doors that were just, I mean, the text messages, the prayers, the songs. One night I hosted a Zoom, and I had women just in there just praying. Like, it was just unbelievable. And that's what community is all about. That's, and I know that our experience till this day, still makes an impact on people, because we still hear, they do share with us still how it impacted them. So I always look at it, whatever we go through in life, whether it's like the most horrible thing, like God has a bigger plan for it, and he will use it for good all the time. And I have seen that in and through the last couple of years since he's been out of the hospital. Till this day, I still see it.
Yeah, and it's weird because it happened during Christmas time. So so it just happened at a time of giving. So I think people's hearts were, COVID was still new, and now it's like, okay, all of a sudden, hey, someone we know that we see on every day, on social media or in the community has COVID. Now he's in the hospital. And so I think for at least for the Lake Nona community, it made it real. And the love and support for for our family was, unbelievable. And here we are almost 2 years later, a year and a half later, and people will still come up to me at restaurants or come up to us and say, "Hey, we were praying for you in the hospital."
Well, we had a whole prayer group for you, and so many other people did. It
Yeah.
just, but I'm a big believer that what you put out, you get back, and God gives. You plant seeds, and it may not grow in the exact way you think, but you certainly had a whole bunch of love and support and wonderful human beings praying for you and pulling for you and wanting to figure out how to help you, and that's a testament to both of you. So, all right, so. How can they reach you? What's the best way they can find more out about Yvette and Kevin Kendrick and the Kendrick team?
We're very open on Facebook.
Yeah.
We put it all out there. I know some people are like, whoa, but you know what? It's part of our ministry too, Our Facebook page, our business is at Kendrick Team. On Instagram, it's at the Kendrick Team. And then we each have our, Kevin just started TikTok. So.
Isn't that fun?
Woo. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Having a good time with that. You all are such a blessing to the world, and I'm honored to have you on. Come back on anytime. Yeah. Yvette, I want to encourage you to get out there and do what you want to do with your own interviews and your own letting people share stories. We want to do business with and work with and watch people who are doing good. And so the Kendrick team, Yvette and Kevin, are doing that in our world. Love you both. God bless you both.
Thank
you guys
so
get
much.
out, support. This is a prime example of what we talk about here, about community and giving back and faith. And so I know that if you reached out to either one of them or both of them, they would get back to you. Thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
It was
so
an
much.
honor.
Did it. All right,
Have a
guys.
beautiful
We'll see
day.
you soon.